Masked killers are hunting you down, but they have no idea your girlfriend is actually a badass expert survivalist. Using her tactical training to set brutal traps and beat down killers, she's a home invader's worst nightmare. But can she outsmart all the killers before they outsmart her? The worst mistake she can make is thinking these family members are innocent. I'll be breaking down the mistakes made, what you should do, and how to beat the masked killers in your next. A couple is driving to a family reunion at a summer home deep in the remote farmlands of Missouri. It's his parents' anniversary, and the girlfriend is nervous to meet them, especially since his dad is an extremely rich defense contractor and all the children are eager for their inheritance, so she wants to make a good impression. After everyone has gone to bed, the mother pours herself a glass of water. She's totally unaware that someone wearing a tiger mask is watching her from outside. But they were asking for it because these guys have no security system on the property. Maybe if this defense contractor took his work home with him, they wouldn't be dead 24 hours later. The following day, the older brother and his wife arrive, and we learn there's some bad blood in the family. The older brother is kind of a douchebag, and nobody in the family seems to like each other. We see how this plays out that night when the whole family sits down for a lovely, peaceful dinner that takes a sharp turn into confrontation, as they find out that these two started dating when she was still his student. Scandalous. An argument breaks out that gets so heated and ugly that nobody notices one of them has been shot in the head with an arrow. Once they notice, everyone begins panicking, running up to check on the body to try to tell what the hell is going on. Another arrow flies through the window and into the chair, and another into the older brother's back as they all take cover. The girlfriend tells everyone to stay calm and away from the windows. They try to call 911 and are surprised to find their phones aren't getting any signals. The younger brother thinks their phones are being jammed and points out that phone jammers can be bought for $30 online. An oddly specific piece of information given the situation. He's also mostly right. Jammers are illegal in the US, but are licensed for official use and possible to buy. Mid-level jammers have 90 minutes of battery life in a range of 20 meters, which is less than the life of a basketball court, so we can either wait out the battery life or get out of range. I would try to text 911, wrap the phone in cloth, and throw it out of range of the jammer, but someone else should probably throw it because I failed gym class. With more bolts coming in, the family members run out of the room using chairs to shield themselves. The only one left is Erin, who grabs a fire poker on her way out, nearly getting skewered in the process. The sister offers to make a run for the car because she ran track in high school, so she's got tons of experience dodging killers with crossbows. The sister breaks to a dead sprint, and when she passes the threshold, she suddenly falls to the ground and clutches her slit throat. If they had looked at the window for signs of the shooters, they would have seen the razor wire gleaming in the moonlight. But even if she did make it outside, crossbows fire at 100 meters per second, and Usain Bolt, the fastest man alive, runs 1/10 that speed. So it's a terrible idea, and you don't stand a chance. It sounds cruel, but I would seriously consider encouraging all the family members to run outside with their phones to call 911, because the killers can't catch them all. They're not my family, I just met them. So if someone has to die to get help, I'll take that trade-off, so long as it's not me. She's dragged back into the house, and they desperately try to save her as the girlfriend takes the time to shut the door and lock it. Now there's a lot going on to be able to notice, but someone in this room knows more than they're letting on. While everyone here is screaming in panic, this girl's got nerves of steel. She helps the mother, tells them to use the chairs for cover, and expertly puts pressure on the wound. For some reason, she knows way too much about being shot at. While the boyfriend is wondering what's gotten to his girlfriend, he finds her upstairs trying to text the police, as some districts have text to 911 service. Honestly, it's all pretty impressive, but the boyfriend seems a little freaked out by all the heroics. Alone, the mother is resting upstairs grieving her daughter's death and completely unaware that someone is under her bed. She turns around to see a man in a fox mask raise his machete and lets out a blood-curdling scream that everyone hears. The family immediately stops what they're doing and runs up to check on her. With everyone lured away, someone breaks through the kitchen window and grabs the girlfriend, but she's able to stab the knife into her attacker's wrist. That'll hurt in the morning. She goes to grab another knife to finish the job, but when she looks back, the man is gone. The family arrives and are horrified to see their mother's dead body with the phrase "You're next" written in blood. It's really disturbing, and the brothers have to pull their father away as he starts breaking down. So at this point, they know someone's got in, and he's obviously a real Picasso, but they casually go downstairs like it's all over. They should look around to find the guy because he can't be far away, and there's likely a trail of blood given he's painted a mural with it. I'm a huge scaredy cat, so I would immediately arm myself and everyone else and check the rest of the house in a large group, because someone is inside, and they'll kill again if we split up. Another woman enters the room and hears a strange noise coming from under the bed, so she bends down to look. Suddenly, Fox Mask comes out and she's so terrified that she sprints down the stairs and out the door. The husband runs after her but snags the razor wire on his way out. He rips the arrow out and faints on the spot. But he wasn't very helpful, so maybe it's for the best. The group drags him back inside the house and the boyfriend comes up with a simple plan. He'll run to the car, drive it up to the doors, and they can all escape. The girlfriend doesn't agree, but decides to give him a knife for protection. Unfortunately, there's a big problem. When he reaches the car, he finds it's been sabotaged, and he doesn't look like he knows a damn thing about automobile repair. The woman who escaped arrives at their neighbor's house and frantically knocks on the door, but the man doesn't respond. Unfortunately for her, a killer in a lamb mask comes up from behind and punches her straight through the glass. She crawls to get away and is horrified to see that their neighbor has been dead the whole time. Lamb Mask walks up slowly and kills her by swinging an axe into her head. Okay, if it were me, I'm not waiting around to get killed. This is a huge house with tons of windows, so I'd find another point of entry to break into, find something to defend myself with, and escape from another exit. If I can trick the killer that I'm hiding in one of the rooms by slamming a door or making some noise, I have more time to run away and get help. The boyfriend comes back to the house and tells them the car won't work, but didn't see any killers and wants to go back out and get help. His girlfriend thinks this is way too risky, but fails to persuade him from this plan. Now we know that Fox Mask is still upstairs, so we need a way to smoke him out. Without combat experience, our best option is to set a trap, and luckily, we still have some razor wire. We can wrap it around nails and stretch it across the stairs, and instead of hiding the older brother, we should use him as bait to lure the killer down to finish the job. The girlfriend can hide in the closet upstairs and attack him from behind as soon as he's been trapped. The younger brother suggests hiding in the basement since there are no windows, but she points out those killers could pour gas on the stairs and light a match, so staying here and boarding up the windows is a better strategy. She then grabs a handful of weapons to take back to the survivors. But a window shatters and she falls to the floor as Tiger Mask comes walking in with his axe. Now if it's me, I'm not beyond killing someone if it's me or them, but look at how much work it is. I don't exercise enough for this, and I've never been in a fight, so I wouldn't really know what to do except dodge, run, repeat. But if you actually win this fight, there's one takeaway. Here we have a masterclass in survival. Always make sure they're dead. I get it, murder is really intense, and I'm probably too soft to beat a man who's already lying face down in his own blood. But if you want to make it through the night, it's an absolute must. Thinking there might be a connection, she yanks his mask off and asks if they know the guy, but they claim they don't and are probably more scared of her now than they are of the killers. The girlfriend looks at the dead body lying on the windowsill and begins to worry about her boyfriend because he's been gone long enough to call the police and they haven't arrived. It's not a good sign, but the younger brother seems strangely relaxed about the whole situation. Okay, we have a golden opportunity here that she doesn't take advantage of. At this point, I would be taking all of Tiger Mask's things, hide his body, and disguise myself as him. Then I can walk outside with a phone and get help before systematically ambushing each killer until they're all dead and it's game over. Upstairs, the father looks around for that second killer and finds a closet full of food wrappers, a sleeping bag, and bottles of urine. The father realizes that whoever these killers are, they've been waiting in the house for a while now, as he tells them their family has been targeted and this isn't a random attack. He's about to say more when Fox Mask sneaks out of the bedroom, grabs him from behind, and slits his throat. Instead of freaking out, the younger brother chews out Fox Mask for killing his dad right in front of him. He's working with the killers. Okay, there hasn't been much time to reflect on family dynamics, but all the signs of betrayal were there. The younger brother knew the price of phone jammers, they were the first to leave the room when the attack started, and he proposed they run out of the house, twice, leaving one dead and one missing. When it's life or death, you need to know who you can trust, and she didn't stop to consider any of it. Lamb Mask comes downstairs, but when he sees the body of Tiger Mask, he loses it, flipping the dinner table over and making a loud noise. The girlfriend hears it from behind the basement door. She tucks a screwdriver into her pocket, but knocks over a broom, alerting Lamb Mask. And when she peeks out of the keyhole, she stares straight into the killer's eye. Finding the doors locked, he begins to break it down and is interrupted as the older brother wakes up and walks in. He decides to go for the easier kill instead, and take it her only chance, she runs from behind and stabs him in the back. Dropping his axe, he runs straight out of the house. A smart choice. That's when the traitorous younger brother comes downstairs, claiming he didn't find any killers and his dad is resting. The girlfriend believes there are at least 2 more killers out there and has them go into the basement to grab some tools, taking anything that could be used as a weapon. The women head upstairs to the dining room where they start making nail boards, and the goth chick asks the girlfriend how she's such a badass. She explains that she grew up on a survivalist compound in the Australian outback and was raised to survive an apocalypse, so it's little wonder these killers are outmatched. Okay, now her crappy childhood is going to save our lives, but there's something else she could have done here. I'd scatter broken glass near every entrance and doorway so I can hear wherever they are in the house, letting me know when the killer passes by. Combining this with a distraction like a timed phone alarm, you can lure the killer through the trap. But none of this helps if there are traitors working against you. And speaking of traitors, downstairs the younger brother tells the older sibling his wife is dead and suddenly stabs him, sticking several screwdrivers into his body. It's cold-blooded, and this leaves only the girlfriend left to kill, and he's gonna need all the help he can get. Upstairs, the goth chick picks up a nail board, winding up for a killing blow, but the girlfriend turns around at the last second. She wants to go check on the father, so the goth chick lets her go up alone and unlocks the front door to let the other killer in. The girlfriend is shocked to find the dad dead on the floor, and sensing movement in the corner of her eye, she instinctively tosses her weapon at the approaching killer, and with nowhere else to run, she throws herself out the window. Okay, jumping out of the window was pretty much her only option, and it's risky, but a lot more survivable than you might think. You'll likely break a bone, but landing on dirt absorbs a lot of impact, preventing a more serious injury. But if you asked me to jump out a window, it would probably go something more like this. Even though she's injured, she quickly gets to her feet and runs into the woods, where she takes a moment to catch her breath and pulls a long shard of glass from her leg. That's when she sees the same screwdriver she used to stab Landmask. Looking around, she spots him aiming his crossbow at her and narrowly dodges the arrow. Limping back to the house, she finds a safe place to hide and wraps her leg with a rag. Meanwhile, Landmask is coming through the window when he spots a nail board on the ground. He carefully climbs through, but steps on another board closer to the wall. His screams of pain alert the young brother as he and Foxmask go to check it out. Downstairs, they find Landmask freeing his foot from the nail. Fed up with how badly the night has gone, he threatens to kill the brother, who agrees to double their pay after he gets the inheritance. This was the younger brother's plan all along, to gain all the inheritance by killing everyone. But unbeknownst to them, the girlfriend has heard all of this from her hiding place. Her phone alerts her that the emergency text has finally gone through. Unfortunately, Foxmask has heard it as well. Just as he's about to throw open the curtains, she punches him in the throat and runs off. The group sprints after her with Landmask limping behind them. She jumps the railing, but instead of running away, she jumps back into the house, tricking everyone behind her. As Landmask comes out, he hears a noise coming from a nearby window. He peeks his head and gets stabbed in the face, dropping his axe. He collapses to the ground dead, and she hobbles away with her new weapon. She goes into the basement grabbing a roll of string and a brick before heading back upstairs to set a trap. Rigging it above the door, anyone who tries to enter will be greeted with an axe to the face. Okay, this was a great trap, but rigging an axe is way too smart for me, and would honestly take me hours to figure out. But there was a lot of stuff down there that we could use. This tractor tells me there's likely some gasoline nearby, and with the wine bottle they bought, I could make a Molotov cocktail to set the house on fire. You'll lose the ability to hide, but it cuts off exits for the killers and gives you time to run for help. The killers regroup outside and the brother is panicking because they haven't found the girlfriend. But Foxmask calmly points out that she's injured so she can't run and she's most likely still in the house. They still have the upper hand. With her trap set up, she waits for the killer, except he's outsmarted her and gone through the window. Quickly thinking of a new plan, she retreats into the basement where she grabs a log and starts breaking the lights that set up another clever trap. When Foxmask enters, he sees a flashing camera and carefully makes his way to it, but the flash begins to blind him. Using this as a distraction, the girlfriend ambushes him and brutally smashes his head in with the log. She limps back to the dining room to pick up a knife and almost gets shot by an arrow fired by the brother. The goth chick goes inside to hunt her down as the brother goes to turn off the cell phone jammer and arms himself with a switchblade. The goth chick gets ambushed by the girlfriend, who begins strangling her. When the brother enters, he slips on the floor but manages to stab her in the back. She pushes him away to grab a blender and slams it into his skull, plugging the power cord into an outlet and turns his brains into a smoothie until he finally dies. With the goth chick the only one left, the girlfriend pulls a knife out of her back and stabs it straight through the top of her head. She collapses from exhaustion as the adrenaline starts to fade when the brother's phone begins to ring. Answering it, the person on the other end is her boyfriend, who is not only still alive, but seems to have been working with the brother. Coming through the window, he's surprised to see the carnage left behind, but is relieved to see that his girlfriend is still alive, holding a knife and covered in blood. She can't believe he would do this, but he explains that he did this for the money. The plan was that the girlfriend was supposed to be the sole survivor and witness to the massacre. She was never supposed to be hurt. He then tries to apologize about all this and makes a deal. If she agrees to a lie about what happened tonight, she can have a whole bunch of money, or he can go to jail and she won't get any of it. She takes a third option and kills him, but just as she stabs him in the face, she gets shot. A police officer has finally arrived. Knowing that he's about to go through the front door, she slowly crawls her way to warn him, but doesn't make it in time. The trap is sprung, the string is loose, and the axe comes flying for his head. But what do you think? How would you beat the mass killers in your next? Let me know with a comment down below. Thank you so much for watching, leave a like and subscribe, and check out the How to Beat playlist for more videos like this. Until next time, have a damn good day.